Hey everybody, so I did a video on creating and reading .mat files in LabVIEW. I also just wanted to do a quick video on reading TDMS files in MATLAB. So TDMS files are oftentimes the preferred file format when working with LabVIEW. A whole bunch of advantages. They're super quick, right? I can read and write data really quickly. They take up a very small files footprint, so very small on disk. And I can also store all sorts of metadata, right? So, for each channel, for each group, I can store whatever additional documentation or information that I want to include there. And it includes information about data types, etc. So it just makes it really easy to work with. So obviously, if you're doing like data acquisition in LabVIEW, especially anything high frequency, that's often what's used. But MATLAB is really great for analysis. So sometimes you might want to do your data acquisition in LabVIEW and then do your analysis in MATLAB. So just wanted to show how we can read TDMS files in MATLAB so that we can kind of leverage that format. So I have just a little example here. I'm using, for this example, this TDMS reader by Jim Hokanson. And this doesn't require a DLL. So this is all MATLAB code, which does all of the reads and whatnot. It can read, information about the file, so I can get like groups and channels and metadata, and I can also read the raw data, which is really cool. So in this example, just have a test TDMS. It's just some documentation here. In this file, I've got basically a time, which is date time, pressure, which is just floats, and flow, which is floats. So here I'm just basically defining a initial point to my data group, which contains pressure. So here, this is using the library. We're using the TDMS getStruct function on our file path, and basically just storing that as data. So just getting that structure. We're reading metadata next. So TDMS read TDMS file, and using the get data option can return that metadata. And then using that metadata, we can speed up future readings. So using the TDMS read TDMS file, I can then extract the data. So kind of cool. Let's go down a little further. Get the flow and time channels. So here we're reading the group data channel flow, group data channel time. And I can get that and store that as data too. So here's my actual time data. Also extracting that pressure. And so just, kind of for demo purposes, right? Can also plot this data in MATLAB. So I can go and take this data. So I've extracted my data group pressure channel. I can go ahead and I can graph that. I can also, here I'm pulling a subset, right? So I'm getting a subset of that array. I can do the same thing with my other channels, and I can have as many channels as I want. So I can generate plots for multiple things. Just kind of trying to highlight some of the stuff you can do with TDMS in MATLAB. So I can read my, data group, my pressure channel, etc., and then generate some plots for data for pressure and for flow. So really simple to use, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not by any means a MATLAB guru, and I was able to put this together relatively easily. So really cool tool, but this way I think we can leverage the power of TDMS in MATLAB, so we can kind of get the best of both worlds. Obviously .mat files are preferred for working in MATLAB, but TDMS has a lot of advantages in the data acquisition world. So being able to to use this in MATLAB can be extremely helpful. So yeah, this would be the library I recommend using for if you want to work with TDMS files in MATLAB. Thank you for tuning in.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.